thank you for joining us. This is kind of impromptu. We just came up with this last night.
Yes, but we got the graphics on the boat, we got the name on the dinghy, and we can't take the dinghy out again until we have an official dedication ceremony, which requires wine and stuff and taking friends out on a maiden voyage. And this way we can bring all of you and cram probably set a record for the most people in a dinghy at once.
So what we're about to do here, if you're not of the boating persuasion, which we weren't just a few months ago ourselves. We're still novices. It is tradition to do a ceremony to name your boat. And if you're taking over an existing boat that has a name and you're renaming it, there's a much more extensive ceremony. You have to appease King Neptune and Poseidon and
you just strike the record of the old boat's name from the Poseidon's rolls and then add the new one. It's complicated. We just went through it with our neighbor. They renamed their boat. That's one of the reasons we picked this boat, is we didn't have to go through a renaming ceremony. We liked the name. Actually, we loved the name to begin with. So
it was a selling point. Because okay, that's one of those things. Because you have to go through all of your old receipts that are on the boat, old logs, and strike out the name.
Because you don't want to upset King Neptune. I definitely
you just don't mess with that. So we loved the name. Why not? So we are not doing a renaming ceremony today. So what we are doing is we decided with the new graphics for Why Not is we wanted to officially rededicate her to the Technomadia journey. And we are doing a short naming ceremony on the dinghy to officially welcome it to our vessel.
Yes. And then
fleet. I guess.
And so there will be 2 toasts and a dinghy ride involved. And so, shall we go get started?
Yeah, let's go get started. We're going to take you aboard. We're going to go to the bow of Why Not first. So you're going to go through our living room. Just so you know, we don't have a maid. So,
we have a cat.
We have a cat, and she's lazy.
Don't worry about that. Yeah. Okay, let's go in.
Watch your step. And we are broadcasting this morning from Fort Myers, Florida, where we have been since May. We just love it here at Legacy Harbor Marina. It's been a good home base for a bit as we tackle boat projects, like getting the rapid stuff.
And getting the dinghy. And our davits are in Savannah, Georgia. They should be here probably Monday.
All right.
So
I'm going to grab. Part of the ceremony is you're supposed to use greens. Well, we went to the grocery store.
We were going to get broccoli.
We thought broccoli, we thought kale. We decided green flowers with leaves. So, little modification. You're supposed to use wine. We figure since, we're box wine people too, we decided to use the box wine because it does come with an inflatable flotation device inside once you finish the wine. We thought that'd be appropriate.
That is a very, very important safety tip. Box wine, flotation device.
Just for the record, a lot of people have asked, traditionally you see breaking a bottle of champagne or wine over the bow of the boat. That is no longer a tradition. That actually turned out to be pretty unsafe unless you do it really correctly. We decided safer. We have our Seas Today wine glasses that we'll be toasting with this morning. These are a gift from my mother. So grab your beverage because you'll need to toast with us. You do not have to drink alcohol. We know it's morning. We're only going to be doing a little.
Okay. Sure, duck your head.
First toast.
Okay.
Go ahead and pour your beverages if you have not done so already.
Stand up straight so I can see what the height is. Don't want our heads cut off. Go. Hey. A little backlit, but I think it should work.
Do you want to go from this angle with the sun not as much?
Yeah, this one's probably a bit
better.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Not professional videographers.
We don't have a camera person on board at the moment.
All right, we got our greens, we got our water.
Okay, we got the ceremony words.
Yeah, I got to bring them up.
Okay.
Alrighty. All right. For thousands of years, we have gone to sea. We have crafted vessels to carry us and have called them by name. These ships nurture us, care for us through perilous seas, and so we affectionately call them she.
Hey, am I next?
To them we toast and ask to celebrate why not. Everyone raises their glass.
So why not?
No.
Oh, wait.
No, there's a saying.
Okay, oh, sorry.
To the sailors of old, to why not.
To sailors of old, to
This
why
is just
not?
a sip. Now this one's yours.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. There. Bright screen here. The moods of the sea are many, from tranquil to violent. We ask that the ship be given the strength to carry on. The keel is strong, and she keeps out the pressure of the sea.
To the sea.
To the sea.
To the sailors
To
of
the
old.
sailors of old.
To the sea.
And to the sea again. Keep the ocean happy.
Today we come to name this lady, to continue her name of Why Not, and send her to sea to be cared for, and to care for the Technomadia family.
That includes all of you watching.
Yes. We ask the sailors of old and the mood of the god that is the sea to accept Why Not as her name, and to help her through her passage and allow her to return her crew safely. To the sea, to the sailors before us, to Why Not.
To why not?
Okay?
Now,
we pour the wine on Why Not.
hey, why not needs a sip?
And I think the traditional way is you go from west to east, which would be from this way, right?
Yes, west east.
And you put the flowers or the greens on the bow pulpit.
They
And
will
those should stay there until our maiden voyage.
Yes, our new remaiden voyage of this boat will be soon.
Why not? And I'll be getting a close out later. All right.
Hey.
Now we are going to reveal Why Not's new logo to you. So Chris will return to the dock and I will go to the flybridge. See you out there.
We are very excited about these new graphics. See down there where the old one's been scraped off, and the new is about to be unveiled. I'll just
Are you
take it
ready?
out. Okay, let's get closer.
Let me know when you're ready.
Let's do this. Show it off.
I feel like I should need some striptease music.
Da 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 da.
There we go. All right, are y'all ready?
Uh-huh. Voila.
The new Why Not graphics. These were designed for us by our graphic artists at Authentic Creative. And if you don't know the story of our graphics, you might recognize down here, this is in the Technomadia logo. It's also etched into our rings. It is the CNC of Chris and Cherie back to back in a Burning Man symbol, because that's where we had our original commitment ceremony some 11 years ago. And she nicely incorporated that into waves. And so that's the story of why that's incorporated into most everything we do. All right.
As for the hailing port, we were tempted to actually try and get Black Rock City as a hailing port, but we didn't know if the Coast Guard would go for a city that only exists for 10 days a year. So we went with Green Cove Springs, which is our mail forwarding address, and is mail forwarding address for many, many, many other nomads, full-time nomads on the road and on the water. Now, yes, we're thrilled with that new graphic. Let's set up a shot for. You have to dedicate. My glass was sitting inside. Yeah, go grab my glass.
All right. Could you explain to them Coast Guard regulations on all this?
Coast Guard regulations?
Yeah, on hailing port.
Oh. Yeah, so hailing port, a few of the details. The name and the hailing port have to be near each other. So that's why we went with up above. And we got rid of the ones down below because we're going to have the dinghy mounted here. So when the dinghy is attached to the boat, we wanted people to still be able to see the name. Actually, it's kind of legal that you want to still have the name up. So we went with the high positioning for the name and the hailing port. And the hailing port, we didn't realize we picked Green Cove Springs is a long port, and the letters have to be 4 inches high. So fortunately, we found a spot to fit the hailing port across. That's okay. Now.
All right, so
Get the shot set.
we have a brand new dinghy. It's a boat. We've named it. It is not Coast Guard documented. It is registered in Florida. But we thought we'd do a little naming ceremony on it as well, welcoming it to the family.
Okay. So, we have the greens.
Oh, I need to go get some greens.
Grab the greens. We got to repeat the process, and then we'll be taking you on board for a little putt around. The dinghy, some details. It's an Achilles HB 310AX aluminum bodied rigid inflatable boat with a Suzuki 15 horsepower engine. Very technologically advanced engine. It's the smallest engine with electronic fuel injection, which is pretty darn cool. And, okay.
All right, you got the greens.
You need our glasses.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I'll need my phone.
I got the
but
phone
you've got
here.
the phone. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
Then I'll start this part here. Okay.
Get your glasses ready again.
Okay, here we go. For thousands of years, we have gone to sea. We have crafted vessels out of inflatable rubber to carry us, and we have called them by name. These ships will nurture and care for us through perilous seas, so we affectionately call them she. Our dinghy will go through perilous
Not
seas,
perilous seas.
to and from island bars. That can be pretty perilous with other drunk dinghy people.
I think that's part of the
Yeah.
ceremony.
To them, we toast and ask to celebrate by the name, just because. Why not? Just because. Okay, so to the sailors of old, to just because.
You want to just keep going?
Okay,
Go ahead.
sure. The mood of the seas are many, and from tranquil to violent, we ask that this dinghy be given the strength to carry on. The keel is strong in aluminum, and the sides are soft in rubber. She keeps out the pressure of the sea and bounces off docks. To the sea, to the sailors of old, to the sea. Keep toasting with us. Hey. Okay. Here we are. Today we come to name this lady just because. We ask today we come to name this lady and to send her to sea to be cared for and to care for the Technomadia family, all of our passengers and guests, maybe some of you someday. Actually, it's all of you today. Okay, so maybe the camera won't fall in the water. We ask the sailors of old and the mood of the god that is the sea to accept just because as her name, to help her through her passages, to keep her fully inflated, and to allow her to return with her crew safely again. To the sea, to the sailors before us, to the just because. Okay.
All right, now to officially complete naming a new vessel, we have to take it on a maiden voyage, and you're supposed to take your friends along. So I hope all of you have your life jackets, or at least virtually.
Yes. At least near you. It doesn't have to be wearing it.
Yep. So I'm going to go grab the key, and yeah, we need the key. I'm not going to try to hotwire it. And we're going to take you for a little maiden voyage.
Do we reveal the name?
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Yes. Show the just.
Oh wait a minute, we still have to like.
Oh, we
Mother
have
of
wine
wine.
on the dinghy. Okay. Here we go.
Yes.
There's a lot of wine involved with boating.
So I can't reveal the name until I've completed the christening. So I can't take this off.
But we can water the.
All right. It's not in the sun. All right, you guys ready to see the Just Because logo? This one's not as fancy.
Hi. Ta-da.
Just because. And we put why not on it
Why
as
not?
well.
Just because.
All right, I'm gonna go grab the keys. Are they up in the pilot
No,
house?
they're sitting right on the door here, right on the ledge, right inside. And actually grab the small tripod that's there. It's sitting right next to the keys, so we can switch leave the big tripod behind. Big tripod, small dinghy. Not such a good idea. And we're not seeing your comments, by the way, until we get back inside.
Yes,
So
once we do the little maiden voyage, we'll come back inside and we'll be happy to chat with you guys.
questions and chat. This is just live from an iPhone with an app that doesn't show comments. Okay.
All right,
here we
I
are.
got my safety whistle.
Do you
got
want me to drive or?
I'll do it.
Okay. There we go.
So, for those that are safety conscious, our life jackets are aboard in the bow locker. It is
And
not
not
a
locked.
requirement to use them.
Yes, and we're not going on a long trip. How can we get in without getting wine stains on ourselves?
That's another thing.
Okay. Now let me hand you the camera.
Ah!
Okay.
What did you do with my lever?
It's a little bit harder to reach because the thing's there, but it's still there. Now pull towards you. Down. First try.
All right, you got us.
Up to. Hi. Okay, we are cast off on our official maiden voyage. Here. Go.
Whee! Show 'em why not. Why not's more interesting than me.
Ta-da. Looking forward to getting out into crystal blue waters of the Keys soon, potentially.
This is our maiden voyage on the dinghy, named just because. Ooh, it's hot out here. This is why we're not going for a long ride.
Yes. It's actually beautiful conditions here, just the heat and not a lot of clouds.
You know, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, storms will come through and cool it off.
But evening dinghy rides, we'll probably go out again this later, and actually we have the lights now so we can go out at night, and that will be gorgeous. But right now we're just going to putter around the marina. You can see a few other boats, and then we're going to go inside and hang out for a little while and
The air
be able to, in air conditioning, where we can actually chat with you all. 'Cause we have no idea whether there's one person watching or 10 at the moment. But this is a beautiful marina, by the way.
And we love this marina because it's off season, so that means that's why we've got this back corner all to ourselves.
With amazing panoramic views.
The sunset goes like right behind Bayliner over there, so we get amazing sunset views. So yours is yes, it's been wonderful. It's why we continue to extend here. We've got downtown Fort Myers. Publix is right over there.
Right behind those tall buildings.
So we've got basically everything we need right here. and it's been really good, really good. If you join us Wednesday evening, we're going to be talking about travel burnout on YouTube Live. I think that's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll talk more about why we're enjoying a 3-month stay. All right, we're going to go ahead and dock this baby and go inside in the air conditioning.
Yes, we don't want to have you guys just sit and watch us putter around for too long. So the maiden voyage is officially accomplished. Okay. There. I think we got wine stains on our docking rope. Oh goodness. Hey, we're good. Secure the engine.
This is the part I have the hardest time with.
And this is the lightest 15 horsepower engine made, so a 4-stroke.
All right, fuel sealed, in, off, and then done.
Okay.
The camera will you fall off the boat?
I got it. Boom. Good. Now, this will get more YouTube hits if you fall in right now. It's your chance. Spectacular splash. Go for it.
Sorry.
Damn.
Okay, we ready to go aboard? Go in air conditioning?
Can you resist not washing that off yet?
I will try before it gets too hot and baked in.
Yes.
So we're going to go inside in air conditioning, and we're going to see what comments we have. If you have questions for us, go ahead and queue them up.
Yep.
We'll hang out for just a little bit. Thank you guys for joining us for this.
Yes. I'll just keep the camera handheld for the moment.
Kiki, she did not come on the ride with us.
She hasn't been on the dinghy yet.
I gotta go get some sweat off my face.
Okay. Well, let's see who's chimed in here. For anyone interested in the technical details, we've been broadcasting over AT&T. Was getting like 50 megabits per second down and 30 up, so we've got a rockin' fast connection for HD video. Oh, lots of comments streaming by. How many people are here? There's 155. That's a lot of people inside a dinghy. Okay.
All right, thank you guys so much for joining us for that. When we read.
I should. The microphone's facing towards us
Okay.
better, so let's see. Spin that around. Okay. And close the blinds so there's no backlight on us. There, that'll be good.
Okay. Can we get the other one?
Sure. Okay. That was a little hot of a chore, but now we are official, and Poseidon should hopefully not sink us. Hey, wow, a lot of comments here. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. When I started reading the boat renaming ceremonies, I said you had to have friends. Well, it's off season here, and most of the friends we made here at the marina have already moved on.
Yes, that's true. Actually, we love having the marina to ourselves, but we are a bit lacking in
social
neighbors. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's some, but yes.
Okay, Wendy would like to know what kind of bicycles are those on our deck?
They're Ejo Epic SEs, and they're folding electric bikes that we got because they fit in the back of the Mini Cooper and the back of the bay of the bus.
We bought them about 2 years ago, and yes, we have lots of video we've taken on them, and including talking about them. But at this point, there's so many other options on the market; it almost seems obsolete to cover them.
Including a newer version of the Ejo Epic, which seems improved in a lot of ways. There's a lot of little issues we had with them, so we're not 100% enthusiastic about recommending them. They're good. They've served their purpose. So yeah, there we go. That's that. The electric bikes.
Rose says, "Why did you not put the boat's name on the transom?" You're talking about
The lower part, yes.
You're talking about Why Not?
Yes.
So on Why Not, we're going to be having the dinghy on a davit system that's on the swim deck, so it would block the name on the lower transom. So we decided to go on the upper transom so that it's always visible and clearly seen.
Yep.
Robin wants to know, what does it cost to dock? This particular marina charges $14 per foot per month. So that comes out to, I think it's like $680 a month. Plus they charge a $130 live aboard fee, because keep in mind that marinas are not just like, unlike RV parks where everyone's pretty much staying in their RV when you're there, marinas are also double as storage lots basically.
Right. And they also charge us for electricity, which has been outrageous in the summer. We've been running 3 air conditioners all the time, and it was $60 last month.
So yeah, our rent was about just over $900 with electricity that we just when we renewed for the month of July. So incredibly affordable for what we consider pretty luxurious living with waterfront panoramic views. The condos right behind us sell for $500,000 to $750,000.
Start at. They go way up. Yeah. It's so yeah.
So we've been extremely happy here. Now marina fees can vary quite a bit. Like I hear down the Keys, they can go from $40 to $60 a foot.
Yeah, it would cost
per
us
month.
like what, $2,000 or $3,000 in some places
Right.
in the Keys for a monthly spot. In now New York City, we found a marina there that we could stay in New York for like $2,000 a month.
I think it was $24 a month.
Yeah, so like, oh my God, $2,400 a month, but you're staying in New York. There's no RV place that you could stay that cheaply and that conveniently. So we're looking forward to, as we work our way around the loop, being able to stay some downtown awesome areas. And yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty darn happy. Yeah, we'll probably start getting moving again in August.
Yep.
And moving aboard. Ron would like to know, do you have any solar power?
Not yet. We're planning the biminis up top. We want to cover them with solar panels, and we've got a rough design sketched out. It's just we need to find a good canvas bimini shop that wants to work with us on doing that project. And when the time and parts all line up, we'll be installing solar.
Yep, doing solar and lithium, of course. Are we considering wind power? No, wind power makes sense if you're doing a lot of offshore. But we're doing intercoastal where we won't always have wind, and we'll be in a lot of marinas. We've stayed next to some sailboats that had wind power and left it going, and they're pretty loud. And we'll be mixing it up between anchoring and marinas. And a lot of the places we'll be anchoring don't necessarily be ideal for wind, because we're going to be in much more protected coves and things like that where we're getting out of the wind because we don't want to be in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But if we had a sailboat, wind makes a lot more sense for boats than it does for RVs by far, because you do have a lot more wind exposure. And for sailboats in particular, wind power, you're looking for wind all the time anyway. So, but yeah, not our general target.
No, when we're anchored out, we'll be finding places with low wind because we don't want to be rocked about as much. So it's kind of, yes, there could be situations we're in where it might make sense, but by and large, probably not. So probably not worth the cost, installation, and storage.
And noise.
And yeah. When are you guys leaving Fort Myers? We'll leave when we leave.
Yeah. Odds are
Probably
sometime in August. But yeah, we've gotten our big projects almost handled that we planned on getting done here. The davit was supposed to be here last week. It's UPS. It got held up in customs and UPS, and now it's sitting in Georgia. So hopefully it'll get here Monday, and we get the davit installed this coming week. And once the davit's on, we are technically mobile, but we are paid up for this month right now.
Yeah, we went ahead and prepaid through early August here. And we're frankly still enjoying it. So we will stay here through at least early August. And of course, we're looking at hurricane. We're checking hurricane tracking every single day. And this is a good marina to be at if we're going to go through a hurricane. They take a lot of care with the boats. When they went through Hurricane Charlie, no boats were destroyed in this marina. They've already assigned us a slip that if we have a named storm come through that would get us much more protected than we are right now.
And we are quite a ways up a river as well. So we are a long way from the open Gulf already. So this is where boats flee to if a hurricane were to come. So we're in a really good spot for that.
So we'll play it by ear and just how we're feeling too. It's Wednesday evening we're going to be hosting about travel burnout. That'll be our live video cast for the month, and we'll be talking about you know how being emotional all the time does drain you sometimes, and you just need to take some still time, and that's what we're doing right now. It's taking some much needed still time. We've been in hyper motion for the last really few years without any extended stays, and we're long overdue. So
Yeah. Looking forward to doing that video.
how many watts of solar do you expect our system to be?
I've sketched out that we can do probably over 1,000, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 watts, depending on exactly which panels and what design we go for up on the roof.
Wendy would like to know pest control. What do you do for pest control in both the RV and the boat?
We've got a cat who keeps all the lizards at bay and mice.
Really haven't had much of a problem. So
I think
But we
three
get-
or four times we've had ant invasions, and we just put out what's
ant
that?
traps.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times the sugar ants are the worst problem, and we just put the taro drops, and that
Yeah.
usually clears them up in a day. We honestly haven't had that many problems with pests.
Yep.
Maybe we've just been lucky in 11 years, but it hasn't. We get occasional flea infestations from Kiki, especially in Florida.
She says that she gets them from us.
Yeah, so she has flea control when we're in places with fleas and ticks, but really hasn't been that much of an issue yet. So
Do we reserve slips ahead of time for our future travels? We haven't needed. Well, we did. I guess actually we reserved this place here. Our last two marinas of two so far we've reserved. Right now, Florida in the off season is wide open, but it can get a lot trickier once we get into the season when there's more competition. So we'll be learning all the ins and outs of finding marina spots. It could be
Yeah.
tricky.
yeah, we don't like to pre-reserve too much in advance, just because we like to keep things a lot more fluid for us. So we'll be striking a balance between the two of knowing when we need to reserve and when we can play it by ear. A lot of marinas are pretty flexible when you say, "Hey, I'm going to be in April," and as long as you're within a few days, especially if you're coming in for a monthly, because they know weather and things like that can affect your travels, and boats move a lot slower than RVs, so they're quite used to that. So they usually have some flexibility or some temporary anchoring or mooring that they can put you in until your slip is ready.
Hector wants to know how our boat handles.
I think really well.
Yeah, I mean it's a big boat, so it doesn't turn on a dime. But in the marina you can with the bow thruster and the two engines. So, yeah, maneuvers. Ewa wants to know about the Tesla Powerwall. We've actually posted about this in the context of RVs. It's the Tesla Powerwall is basically a really nice battery system and inverter built together in a big, tall vertical box designed to mount on the wall of a residential garage. And for that purpose, it is great. It is not very well suited for RVs or boats or anything else because it's just not the right form factor. But you build the same thing yourself. Our basically it's just lithium batteries plus an inverter, and we will definitely have lithium batteries plus an inverter on our boat. It will not be a Tesla Powerwall though.
No, it's not really practical in the form factor. It's built for houses,
Yes.
and we know some people that are trying to put them into.
It's because it's designed to be vertical, and it's part of its cooling system. You can't lay it down flat. At least the last version I looked at, so it's not well suited. It's suited for the wall of a garage. It's not intended to go in an engine room or an RV bay or anything else. We know people who've taken wrecked Teslas and taken stripped batteries out of them, and use the same batteries or build your own lithium batteries. There's a lot better ways to fit lithium into a boat or an RV.
Yeah. Can solar power the engines on board? No.
Not our engines.
There are some boats out there, they're eco ones, where they are having a lot of solar on the roof and they have electric engines.
Yes, and so they could run a little, like an hour or so off of electric per day. Like check out the Green Line, has some pretty cool boats. There's actually an electric trawler that's being developed right now. But it takes a lot of power to run an engine and an electric engine system. Future boat, I would love to have a fully hybrid electric.
But no, our engines are diesel.
Yeah.
There is no way to convert solar to diesel. So, and nor would the amount of solar required to power our two engines would be more roof space than we have, even if we could.
And you also wants to know about, do we have a Tesla Model 3 reservation? If I would have a Tesla by now if we didn't live in an RV, because Teslas cannot be flat-toed, and I've had it out with Elon Musk a few times on
Elon's
Twitter.
blocked him on Twitter.
Yeah,
for
the
this.
Tesla does not have an ability to be flat-toed, which means it's pretty useless for being with an RV. Otherwise, I would love to have a Tesla. I would have bought one of the first ones.
Let's see. Do we have a lithium battery recommendation? Someone's looking to do their fifth wheel. We are currently just starting our lithium battery research for the boat. It's been 6 years since we did the research for our bus. So at current time, I do not have a recommendation, but we will certainly share our boat project when we're ready.
Yeah, there was not a lot of lithium options 6 years ago, and we built our own from scratch. And now there seems to be lithium batteries coming out of the woodwork. So a lot of options, and we can't really compare or judge between them yet until we've done deeper research.
Yeah, so making no recommendations at this point. How's the Bimini top and solar panels going to retract when going under low bridges? So it's a great point. We specifically picked why not just because we didn't have to go through a renaming process, but because the arch on the fly bridge is on a hydraulic fold down so that it can get down to very low bridge clearance. And on some of the routes on the loop that we want to take, we need to be able to get under 15 feet 5 inches, I think is the lowest bridge that we'll have to go under.
So that's still years away for those particular low bridges on the Western Erie Canal. But any bimini system, actually on a boat, unless you're doing a fully rigid hardtop, you always design the biminis to come down, because if there's a big storm and stuff, a named storm in particular, you dismantle everything. So it might be a little bit of a challenge to take it down, but we'll design it to come down for both that small segment of super low bridges and also for named storms. So it might take an hour's worth of effort, but it'll still come apart.
It'll still be retractable. It'll be designed in.
Yep.
Have we figured out how many gallons of fuel we burn an hour? We do not have a flow meter, and we have not gone through our first tank of fuel yet to do a comparison. We have not traveled that many miles yet, so we do not have that information at this time. Darren asked, we mentioned that our davits got stuck in customs. Where did we order them from? They came out of Canada.
Yeah, it's a Dinghy Caddy is the system we selected as a good fit for our dinghy and our swim platform, and we're hoping it lives up to our expectations. It's got some really good reviews, and
should be super easy for us to deploy.
Yep.
This boat originally had a boat deck up on the flybridge. That's why we have such a huge open space up there. And this one was never set up with this, but the Bayliner 4788, that was how it was originally set up, with a crane up there. So this boat used to have Weaver davits, if you're familiar with those. And we decided those were not appropriate because you have to also tilt the engine or get a specific kind of engine. So we went with a davit system that will allow us to keep the engine on the dinghy and just lower and raise it into the water when needed.
How does diesel price compare with regular gas?
I mean, you can look at your local fuel station and figure that out.
Marine diesel, because it doesn't have to pay highway taxes, is cheaper, but because there's fewer places selling it, they often charge more to bring it back, basically back up. So
you don't pay the state highway taxes on. It's basically off-road diesel. It's dyed red, just like if you're buying off-road diesel. So it's going to be at local market prices minus the taxes, but then there's the marina upcharge. And it usually comes out to be about what street price is of diesel.
Yeah. Unless you're buying bulk. Like we know people who hire fuel trucks to come and bring them 1,000 gallons at a time. We can't handle that much fuel, so our engine...
Unless someone else near us is doing that. There is actually a fuel truck that comes in here about once a week and does that. We may top up here
See if we can get in on a bulk purchase or something.
Yeah.
Do we have alternators on the boat engines for charging the house batteries? I believe they actually do charge the house batteries slightly, but they're still haven't dug into optimizing and planning for the electrical upgrades on that, because we would eventually like the alternators to be able to power the inverter, to power an air conditioner without needing to run a generator while underway, which would be great. But just like we do on the bus, and would require probably an alternator upgrade.
So a couple comments about the new Powerwall can be mounted horizontally.
Nice.
We don't have floor space to put that in.
Yes.
We have no big open floor space.
Yeah, when we do our batteries, we'll be customizing to a very tight space. There's
basically under Chris's butt.
Yeah, it'll be linear under the sofa is probably the top spot where the batteries will go. So the Powerwall is kind of it's not designed for mobile stuff. If anybody wants to do it as a project, go for it. I'd love to hear about it. It's a 48-volt system, so it doesn't integrate with vehicle 12-volt. It's the only thing. It's really great for a house. A lot of people try to think that it's a great idea to cram it into other vehicles, but you could build a better system for other vehicles, more optimally if you start from the individual parts.
Yeah, if you go buy the cells yourself and bring them together,
you could even probably buy a Tesla sticker and stick it on whatever you build.
There's no reason to try to fit something in that's not designed for the purpose. So someone's asked, "Hey Chris, which of the two toys do you enjoy driving the most, the boat or the bus?" Boat. And by the way, he's not the only driver.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Cherie has got a clear
I-
answer to that.
I do not like driving motor vehicles at all. Not even
This
our
has
Mini
got a
Cooper.
motor. It's a motor vehicle.
It is, but I love driving the boat.
Right. Cherie loves driving the boat. I love driving the RV and the boat. I'd say, well, the boat's got the novelty at the moment, so the boat's more fun as the newness. But I like driving things in general: airplanes, boats, drones, paramotors. I would probably enjoy being a long haul trucker. I just like driving things, so I like them all.
No, and I do not like highway driving. I don't even like highway riding, but I am loving driving the boat. I feel very comfortable with it, and actually, I think I have almost as many hours on the boat as you do.
Definitely, yeah.
So.
And I love the partnership and the trading off of work on the boat. That's actually the one downside of driving the RV is I can't take a break because it's basically
you can pull over.
Yeah, I can pull over, but it's not like we can hand off the driving. So I love being able to, and particularly on the boat, you can switch off just moment to moment who's in charge and who's driving. So it's like, oh, I want to go grab a drink. I want to use the bathroom. I want to,
Or
we can just.
he'll be driving and I'll notice he's getting his phone out to take photos. I'm like, sweetie, why don't you let me take over? You go take your photos and I'll take.
Or study things with binoculars and stuff. But yeah, anyway, we like to hand the boat back and forth, and we love that.
What is our trawler speed? So we're not a trawler. We
But
are a
we
motor
act like
yacht,
one.
but we do treat it like a single engine. We go at displacement speed, and we're finding it's somewhere between 7 and 8.
Yep,
knots.
and that's a great speed. The engine is actually underpowered, but yeah.
And will you do a how to build a battery video?
We-
Well, if we build our battery, we'll share more. But if we buy one prepackaged, of course, we're not going to.
We'll share what we decide
Yeah.
to do and why.
Yeah, so we'll share when we do. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this.
Okay.
We're going to, I don't see any other questions pending. Do join us Wednesday evening is our next live video chat. We'll be talking about dealing with travel burnout as a nomad. And that'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the YouTube channel. And it will be archived, of course, if you
Yes.
can't make it.
And so, thank you guys all so much for cramming into our boat for this this trip. Thank you.
All right, guys, take care. Have a
End
great
this
weekend.
stream. Okay, I gotta go over here to end it. Keep waving because it hasn't ended yet.
There you go.
Oh yes, Kiki, final footage of the cat.